T&P relief valve, the thermostat, the pilot light, the incoming and outgoing water. There's not much to it, but when you get into one of these, there is just so many working parts and pieces.
Holy crap.
So there's a lot of stuff going on in that thing.
There's a big motor or some sort.
That's the fan.
Yeah.
This is the fan that exhausts the hot gas. This is the copper heat exchanger. If you see all the copper pipes on the side, that's where the water travels through and then leaves over here on the hot side. The electronic dip switches are these little switches in here that we can switch. Depending on your elevation, if you're in Colorado, they have thinner air, so you have to flip a different dip switch to make the fan work harder or less depending on which area of the country you're in. And then they have these little heat blocks. These little ceramic blocks are what keep it from freezing in the wintertime. It'll kick on by itself and basically loop a gallon of water or so and keep it from freezing. Some will loop the water, some will just heat the ceramic blocks. Down in here, it's hard to see it, but that's where the little flow switch is that tells the unit when to come on and off. And then the gas control valve is over here, and this is the burner. And I think on this unit there's a 3 or 4 stage burner. If you just run one faucet, it'll only run one stage of burner. But if you kick that garden tub on, that's when it will kick on 2 or 3 stages to rapidly heat the amount of water. Because this unit in its max position, I want to say with Renai, it'll do 9.4 gallons a minute, and that's at a 20-degree rise. Rarely does your water come in at 100 when you're asking for 120. So really you're coming in at about 70 degrees here in North Texas, so you're asking for a 50-degree rise, so it'll do, I think it's like 7 gallons a minute, realistically, is what this unit will produce. So I think they size this for up to 3.5 bathroom home. How many bathrooms do you guys have here?
2.5.
2.5? Yeah, so it's perfect for you guys.
So you're gonna let this run for an hour?
So
We're only 20 minutes in.
yeah,
Right on.
Not being installed correctly. Your house was built with a tankless, so it was sized accordingly. It's the retrofit where people have a regular water heater and they put a tankless in, and the contractor or plumber or whoever put it in did not size the gas. A standard water heater is 40,000 BTUs. A tankless is 199,000 BTUs, so it's about 4 times the amount of volume needed to run a tankless water heater. So you need a minimum of a 3/4 inch gas line, and that's what this one has. When I have a call with the tankless malfunctioning, the very first thing that I do is I take and stick what's called a manometer to this gas port, and a manometer measures the inches of a water column. Basically, how much gas pressure will it push up a column of water 1 inch in diameter. A tankless, without having the book, I think they require anywhere from 9 to 14 inches of a water column of pressure. So if I test your gas and you're running at 6 inches of a water column, I'll tell you right before I can even do any diagnosing, we don't have enough gas to run this. So we start with the gas upgrade, then we move into actually, you have to have a known baseline to start diagnosing. But the number one problem with tankless is not flushing and insufficient gas supply.
What happens if you don't get enough gas?
The unit can't run properly. You're gonna have yeah, it's called an insufficient flame. So you either run rich or you run lean. If you're running lean, your flame will be like a lightish yellow color and not a bright blue, and then the lightish yellow will put like a soot flame out, and it causes the unit to malfunction. It's just not heating at the right temperature. Too much gas, and I think you have an orange flame, but the flame will change depending on too rich or too lean. Because fire is just interesting. You have to have enough oxygen and enough fuel to make the perfect fire.
Right.
One of too much or too little, it just doesn't work right.
So where's the flame kick on in here?
Inside of here.
Inside of there.
These screws come off, and there's a view window in here, and you can see the flame when it kicks on. And I can flip the dip switches on. I have it unplugged, but once I have it back on, the view window's right here. Sorry, you can see the flames once we kick it back on.
What?
We can watch it. But you can run the high cycle, low cycle, high fire, low fire, and get it to switch through its different modes. It looks yummy.
What do we got there? Oh, chunkies. like, hey, if your thing's not working right.
Take care of it. But
Right.
if you don't take care of it, then they go out quicker, and you basically, like I said, you wear it out faster than what it should.
Like a car.
Increase your gas.
Yeah.
The nice thing about doing the outdoor side mounts like this, is there's no vent work. It exhausts right to the front of the unit. The box is already built for your hot and cold water lines, and your relief valve are already there. So, in theory, it's just a matter of a new isolation kit and bolting the tankless in and making your connections. It's not replace your gas line.
So this is some sort of runoff valve, right? That runs off to
That's
here?
the relief.
Oh, okay.
If the unit were to build too much pressure inside of it, it'll blow that hot water outside here and not cause that
We'll
to
make them blow
rupture.
up. Okay.
To
Gotcha.
use scare tactics, but yeah, technically blow up.
But at least it blows up the garage.
What's fun is watching the Mythbusters. The #1 requested myth on that show, and they did it like 6 times, was water heaters,
Oh, okay.
where they block the relief valve and they start heating them up and seeing what they can do. And they took a 50-gallon water heater in a parking lot and launched it 660 feet up.
Whoa!
So then they said, okay, well, what if we built a spec California home to current code? How high will it go? They got like 655 feet. They lost like 5 foot of lift with a house.
What?
Yeah, so then they took and they put one sideways and they heated it up, and they put a bulldozer with a pile of dirt, and it took the bulldozer straight up off the ground and slammed the bulldozer back down with a water tank.
I'm gonna have to go watch it on YouTube.
Oh, it's cool. I mean, the amount
Wait,
of
what?
energy-
Explain this to me. The
Water heater.
the regular water heaters, like if you don't get the pressure out, it blows up, is what you're saying?
Water boils at 212 degrees in an open combustion situation. Once you seal the tank, put it in a pressure cooker, and you start building it, it climbs up to around 330 degrees before it finally builds so much pressure that it has to.
So what you're saying is if your water heater doesn't
Leave the pressure.
leave the pressure, it could shoot 600 feet through the roof of your house?
Yes, that's when this device was developed, which is called the temperature. It's called the T&P valve. That's the slang term. It's temperature and or pressure relief valve.
Okay.
At 210 degrees, 2 degrees shy of boiling, this will shoot boiling hot water outside. Or 150 psi, it will shoot boiling hot water outside. So whatever comes first, temperature or pressure, will cause that to release. They say per manufacturer they're supposed to be tested by a professional every year, and if it's malfunctioning, to replace it. Nobody does that. But ever since this thing was invented, water heaters have not been blowing through people's houses.
Oh, okay. So it used to be a common occurrence.
When water heaters were first developed.
Oh, okay.
Well, if you think about it, they say tanklesses are new technology. They're not. The way man first figured out how to heat water other than a pot on a fire was a copper coil over a fire. It is no more than what a tankless is, except for this is refined technology with pressure behind it, moving it through, with thermistors judging the temperature at different points, going through to make sure it leaves at the desired temperature for the home. But a tankless is not new technology, it's just refined technology. It's just updated. Start to take it apart and clean the screen and get the tankless back up and running again. So the first step is I'm going to unplug the pump. I'm going to shut the supply off. It's running it.
So this was clear when you started?
Mm-hmm.
What color would you call that?
Lime green. Yeah, that's a good one.
Calcium lime green.
We'll let it sit for a minute and see if any of the sediment will settle.
That's the color of the grass.
Right?
Yep.
So now I want to get the vinegar out of the tank. So I'm going to turn this guy on. This guy's still off. He's still on. He's off. So we're going to start flushing it. It's hard to move.
Now, how many gallons does that hold?
This is a 5-gallon bucket.
No, I'm saying how many.
Tankless, probably 2.
Okay.
1.5 at a time, something like that.
That's a lot of vinegar.
It's vinegar mixed with water at this
Right.
point. That was clean when we started their brand new hoses.
Wait, what?
These are brand new hoses.
So, which was the one?
This was the one that was in the bucket,
No way.
in the vinegar bucket.
It's that color?
Mm-hmm.
Change the color of that.
Mm-hmm.
In an hour?
Takes off the oxidation.
No, wait, let's do a side-by-side comparison. That's
Those
crazy.
are brand new hoses. So now we're going to shut this off. Everything's in the off position. Now we're going to pull this screen.
Nuts. Ugh.
That one's not too bad.
Huh?
Good for its age now. So this should just pop off. Is there an outside faucet? Yeah, I guess I could use a paper towel, but I may take it to the
Yeah,
outside.
yeah, we got some. Got a faucet on the far side too, if you need it.
Wow, that's hot.
Whoa. Yeah?
I need the cold water. But like with your neighbor saying, like, I didn't know they needed to be flushed. Most people don't know. They just use it because they've always got hot water, and then when it malfunctions, the service tech comes out and asks you, when was your last service and what service?
Say never.
A lot of people don't know. I like to clean it all while I go through it, just to make, you don't have to detail it, just getting all the dust, making sure everything looks good. These two stay off. Don't be surprised if before the tankless goes out, the isolation kit goes out.
The what?
Like the
The
pipes in
unit
between.
will last longer than this kit will.
Why?
Because the valves haven't been turned in 8 years, so now they're really stiff to turn.
Ooh.
I'll be giving it.
Come out every now and then and give them a little turn. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have hot water and this unit's back up and working. And test that relief valve at the same time.
Nice.
Come out, it's hot, right?
Oh, you hear it? Kicking
Yeah,
on.
it's hot now. Yep, it's hot.
You heard it.
And that's why you don't get a lot of vinegar through the system, because I blow it all out
Right.
through the bucket and
Beautiful.
through the relief valve.
So most guys charge how much for this?
They range between 225 and 400. I've seen 330, 295. It really varies depending on the company, but they all do the same exact thing. And I wonder if half of them even, do it as long.
Hmm. You paid less, right? Yes. Good choice.
Repeat customer.
Hmm?
Repeat customer.
Yeah.
In
Dan
a
does.
few weeks, right?
Dan
Few
does
weeks?
fantastic work.
That's it.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Tankless water heater flushing.
Now you can try it next year or call me and we'll
Yep.
do it again.
Most likely could just call you.
Right.
Yeah, it's not once you see with it.
Do you know a concrete guy by chance? No?
I've had one, but
Okay.
a lot of times my
See-
excavators will do what I need them to do.
So like whenever the builder built our house,